Dr. B.A.
Which does not mean badass.
I think it does. She is a tenured associate professor of legal studies. I'm reading it because I don't want to leave anything out, although I'm sure that I will, because there's a whole lot. As you can see in this lovely office, the places she has gone, the people that she has met. Oh my goodness. But anyway, get back to it. She is a tenured associate professor of legal studies at the University of Georgia, Terry College of Business, which is where we are filming this, and the founder of Practical Diversity, which is a consulting business. She is a cum laude graduate at the Howard University School of Law and magna cum laude graduate at the University of the District of Columbia. Now, she worked in legal capacities in Washington, D.C., at the Federal Labor Relations Authority, litigating federal sector labor law cases, the White House, Domestic Council, the D.C. Court of Appeals, and at the Federal Trade Commission's Antitrust Division, the U.S. Department of Justice. Dr. B.A. publishes extensively in the employment law area with particular emphasis on issues of race, gender, sexual harassment, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Now, she published a first of its kind employment law textbook, Employment Law for Business, which created the employment law discipline for colleges of businesses. Now, but she conducts diversity and employment law seminars, featured in radio programs across the country, and quoted in the national media, including the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Fortune Magazine, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and many others. And besides all that, most importantly, she is the mother of 3 daughters and a grandma. She does not look like a grandma.
Twice over.
So please, meet Dr. B.A.
Hey, thank you so much. Great introduction.
Oh, thank you. Well, hey, I couldn't do it without you doing all the things that you've done. I mean, come on, let's get real.
Well, you know what? The truth is, you never know what people are going to use to introduce you. So you did a good job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So did I leave anything out? Is there anything you want to share?
You know what? What I would share is that the D.C. Court of Appeals is D.C.'s highest court.
Wow.
And what I think is most significant about that is that I was the first law clerk to the first black female who was appointed to that court, which was the first black female to be appointed to a court of last jurisdiction in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell y'all she was impressive?
That was neat.
Wow.
She was awesome.
That is really neat. That is really neat. So now I've said all these things. Just tell us what it is that you do here at University of Georgia.
Yeah. That's actually kind of an interesting question, because what I do is I was hired to teach employment law. Well, no, I wasn't. I was hired to teach legal studies. But the president who hired me, the thing that made me come in the first place, and I was at the University of North Florida, where I had come in to teach something none of the labor lawyers I was with, working with, knew what it was, and that was employment law. Okay, and it was started, it was the sort of baby of the person who was one of the founders of SHRM.
Okay.
As it turns out.
Oh.
He was the head of Public Employee Relations Commission in New York. And when he retired, he went to Florida and he started to just sort of do some work at the University of North Florida. And he asked them about something he had seen a lot in his capacity as head of New York PERC. And that was when people would when unions would bring claims, they would very often have these other claims in there that nobody dealt with.
Wow.
Turns out they were claims of discrimination based on race or gender or national origin, and nobody was dealing with them.
Wow.
Nobody was dealing with them. They didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
So when he started teaching, he was teaching in the management department, he said to the department chair, you know, can we have like this course that, I don't even know what you call it, but like, can we have this course that addresses these issues? And he ended up calling the person who had been his assistant in New York, who was now the head of the Federal Public Employee Relations Commission.
Wow.
Or Federal Labor Relations Commission. And or authority. And that person was the person I worked for, who asked me if I would be interested in coming. And I said, no, not to Georgia. I mean, not to Florida. I'm not moving south. And as it turns out, I sort of, when I figured out what it was, it was like, okay, I'm black and I'm female and I have a partner that's female and they want me to teach about discrimination? No, that's too much of a bromide. And then I thought, you know what, who better to do this? And there were, of course, no textbooks and there weren't for 10 years. And finally, I'm like, you know what, y'all need to listen to this. And then the Hill-Thomas hearings hit. And when I came here, the president of the university asked me, that was 5 years later, he asked me to come in and help the university to move forward in the area of diversity, because that was 1987, and I actually came in January of 88, but they had integrated in 1961 and essentially had not done a lot since then. So he asked me to do that. So when you say, what do I do at the university, that's a huge part of what I do.
Wow.
And it's not, it's not like that's what I'm paid to do. I'm paid to teach, but it's a huge part of what I spend my time with in all sorts of capacities. I mean, people know if you mention diversity at University of Georgia, you need to talk to Dawn because she's going to give you some background and stuff about it. So I get a lot of those calls.